So take two brands, two e-commerce brands, both in the same industry. So both are selling t-shirts, right? And they have the exact same list size. So let's say 50,000 subscribers. But one can send an email on a random Monday at 5 a.m. and generate $50,000 in sales. But the other sends an email on a random Monday at 5 a.m. but barely generates $5,000 in sales and collects a bunch of spam reports along the way. Why is it that some e-commerce brands have it easy while others feels like they are playing email marketing on hardcore mode and they generate only 20% of what they could be generating? Because for some brands, every single one of their campaigns is a hit. It generates tons of revenue. And I know these brands exist because we work with a bunch of them. But on the other hand, you have these brands whose email marketing, their campaigns feel like fishing on an empty lake, right? It's a hit and miss. It's like based on pure luck. And here's the thing. It's not that these better brands that have it easy have better products or that they offer higher discounts or that their emails look better. They are more beautiful. I know that is what some people have led you to believe. They want you to think that way. But let me tell you something. If you ever felt like email marketing should be generating more revenue for you, but whatever you do, it just doesn't, let me tell you, it is not your fault. You're not bad at email marketing. Your team is not bad at email marketing. You've been just following the wrong advice for far too long. But in a minute, when you see this and you see why this happens and most importantly, how to solve it, you won't be able to unsee it. And you will finally understand why some brands are out here printing money with email, literally, while other brands are 20% of their potential. So I will actually show you 8 ways you can use to double or even triple your campaign sales so you can generate an extra $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, an extra $300,000 a month, as we've done for some of our clients. You will know exactly how to do it in just a minute. Now, for context, I'm Matt Pirelli, founder and principal at Email Engineer. My agency helps the most ambitious e-commerce brands scale their email marketing and retention sales. We've generated over $40 million for our clients to Klaviyo. But it's not necessarily because their lists are huge. I mean, some do. Some have lists north of over 1 million subscribers. But for example, last year in 2024, we've managed to generate $2.4 million out of a tiny list of 11,000 subscribers. And it's because one simple reason. It all comes down to this. How much revenue you can extract from your email list comes down to the type of email list that you have. So let me explain that. There are 2 types of subscriber lists. There are liquid lists and there are illiquid lists. Much like in business, there are liquid assets and illiquid assets. And liquid assets are easier to turn into cash. And those include cash itself, checking accounts, stocks, bonds, all of which you can turn into cash very easily. And then you have illiquid assets like land, buildings, machinery. So most businesses prefer to have a higher percentage of liquid assets because it gives them more flexibility. It gives them a safety net because during bad times they can cash this out more easily. While, for example, a huge machine might take months to sell, even years to find the right buyer, finance the sale, and all of that. So that is why most businesses prefer to have more liquid assets. And this same principle applies to liquid lists. A liquid list is easier to turn into cash. And so those brands who play email marketing on easy mode, all of them have liquid lists. Their subscribers are like borderline addicts in the way that they consume the emails that they send. They're always warm and hungry and ready to devour the emails that they receive. And so brands with liquid lists have a campaign dashboard that looks like this, where most of the sales are generating tons of revenue. It's way more consistent. It's not 1 in 10 campaigns that generate sales and that just happen to be like the one that uses a discount or a price offer. No, instead, campaign sales are consistent. Every single one of them generates a high amount of revenue compared to the list at their size. On the other hand, brands with illiquid lists struggle and their campaigns are more of a hit and miss. The only emails that get sales are the flash offers, the discount and all of that. But all the others generate 20% of those campaigns, if that. So overall campaign sales are low. And the worst thing is that ends up being another problem because they see that these flash offers and discount campaigns are the only ones that work. So they end up sending more of those. And then eventually they only send those type of campaigns. So that creates a vicious cycle because those campaigns are the ones that lead to illiquid lists. So I've chatted with brands who literally gave up on email marketing because they entered this spiral and they ended up quitting email marketing altogether because they were just disappointed with the results. And they just send 1 or 2 emails per month max. But you know what? The worst thing that happens, and this happens to 9 out of 10 brands, the worst thing is that they're here and they don't know it. Because when you're here, you are generating enough sales to fool Klaviyo into thinking that everything is working fine. Like there are no signs of this, of having an illiquid list. But in reality, this is just bleeding revenue every single day, every single week, every single month that you cannot recover. So that is the main reason why I'm recording this video for you, because I want you to know whether you have a liquid or an illiquid list. And if you happen to have an illiquid list, I want you to solve it today with the 8 strategies that I'm giving you in a second. But first, I want you to know whether you have one or not. Because here's the thing, the symptoms of an illiquid list don't manifest themselves ever. You cannot know whether you have it or not just from looking at your campaign's results. So it's like literally a parasite that lives inside you and feeds from your blood and your organ and your tissues little by little, with a survival strategy that relies on keeping you alive for as long as possible while draining and stealing your resources. So you won't ever notice the effects of an illiquid list, but they are there, living inside your Klaviyo account and feeding from your potential revenue. But luckily for us, there's an over-the-counter test to know whether you have it or not. And it is a quite simple one. It takes just 10 seconds. You have to go inside Klaviyo, click Analytics, then Benchmarks to the left, and then find your way to Campaigns here at the top. And if your metrics look like this, you are fine. We are looking for specifically the symptoms of an illiquid list are in the conversion rate and revenue per recipient. If yours are excellent, you are fine. But instead, if they look like this and they say good or fair, chances are that you have an illiquid list. Because having an illiquid list doesn't mean you get no sales, only that you get enough sales to trick Klaviyo into thinking that everything is fine. Again, this is an insidious issue because you won't see the poor label on your conversion rate or revenue per recipient. So things look fine, but this is Klaviyo's way of saying things are just average. They're just on par with other brands. But the reality is that some of your competitors are doing 2-3 times better because Klaviyo benchmarks rank you across your peers, so other brands in your same industry and about the same size as you. So for example, this is a screenshot, so I can't do much. But if you're in your own Klaviyo dashboard, you can do this. This is for one of our clients. You can click this detailed view, and this is beautiful because you can see exactly how the bottom 25 percentile, the median, and the top 25 percentile are doing. So in this case, where the conversion rate of this brand was on par with the median, what does that really mean? If we take our client as an example, you can see here conversion rate. The median conversion rate is 0.03%, but we are generating 0.3, so literally 10 times more sales from email. In this case, that puts us in the top 5% of accounts, but maybe let's not go to that extreme, but let's take, again, the median's conversion rate is 0.03, but there are still brands in the top 25% that the conversion rate is 3 times higher than the median. So again, a Klaviyo account like this, where the conversion rate is just average, looks fine on paper, right? But that is until you see how your competitors are doing. In this case, these brands, they go into their campaign dashboard and they see, okay, some campaigns are getting sales, some more than others not much, but whatever, we'll make up for it with the next flash sale. So things look fine on surface, but unless they go to the benchmark section and they see exactly how they are doing, they think they are doing fine. But they could be generating 3 times more sales or 10 times more sales, as it's our case with one of our clients. So this is exactly how you know whether you have a liquid list or an illiquid list. An illiquid list looks like this, a liquid list looks like this. And you might have some metrics that say poor, but if those are the bounce rate, spam report rate, and unsubscribe rate, then that is fine. That is not really an issue. I mean, that is Klaviyo's fear mongering, because they are literally telling you you are doing 10 times better than other brands, but take care of your unsubscribe rate. We don't care about unsubscribes. We're literally pushing people to unsubscribe with our emails for this client, because we would rather have good subscribers rather than just all subscribers. But I'll get to that in a moment. So in case you went to Klaviyo, you check your benchmarks, and you see that you have an illiquid list, let me now break down these 8 strategies and tactics you can use, because there's honestly no better feeling than knowing that you can send an email and generate $20,000 in sales, $30,000 in sales, $50,000 in sales. There's no better feeling. So I'm showing you exactly how to do that. So without further ado, let me show you the 8 ways we use here at Email Engineers to turn an illiquid list into a liquid list. Starting with killing this count dependency. Because this is the first step that we have to take. Because giving away discount is like those parents who give their kids an iPad to keep them entertained. Because it works, right? At first the kids shut up and they stop running around in circles in the restaurant and tripping over. And it works, so it keeps their kids entertained for a while. So parents get the piece, right? But what happens to the kids? They become iPad zombies. They start throwing tantrums every time the parents suggest doing another thing or they took the iPad away, and then they can't even possibly fathom going to a restaurant without bringing a charger, and the kids have to be on the iPad, and then they grow up with A.D.H.D, and so they get bad grades in school, they don't make it to the university, and long story short, they are fent addicts. So that is what kind of happens with your email list. If you train them to buy with discounts, they won't buy at full price ever again. Why would they? So this is the first step for turning an illiquid list into a liquid list, getting rid of relying on discounts and discounts and flash sales and discounts every single day of the week. And so the next question is, so what do we send instead, Matthias? We don't want our subscribers to be fent addicts. I got you. You simply have to start sending other types of emails. One strategy that we use here, it's called conviction building. This let us replace those discount and flash sales emails with emails that actually move the sales forward. Emails that actually create conviction in people and make them want to buy your products. And so this is how you fill the void that those flash offers left, with conviction building emails. So this strategy simply recognizes that all of us have this internal barrier, an amount of persuasion, of belief that we have to have before we buy a product. So this is the barrier, and if we cross it, we get the sale. And this barrier right here, it's called the conviction threshold. And if you cross it, you get the sale. And so conviction building relies on 2 powerful forces to get someone to cross this threshold. And it's very simple. It just stacks enough of these 2 forces until they cross this threshold. And those forces are trust and desire. And if you stack enough trust and enough desire, you will get the sale. It's as simple as that. And so the way to ensure and practically force your emails to get sales is by having them create trust and create desire. That is the conviction building strategy that we use with our clients. That is exactly what we're doing with all of them. and the examples that I just showed you some moments ago to get our emails to convert 10 times higher than the average. Because here's the thing, if your emails do not create trust, do not create desire, and do not get someone over this threshold, so you're basically selling without conviction. And selling without conviction is like trying to get married to a girl you just met on Tinder. It's crazy, it's mad, like no one would do that. But with email marketing, that is a strategy most brands use. And that is why their emails do not generate sales, because they are sending discounts, they are proposing to people who don't want them in the first place. So that explains why the low sells or the average sells, because the reality is that every single other brand is following that same exact approach, the same approach that everyone teaches in email marketing courses and books and blog posts. And so when everyone is doing the same approach, that is just now the new average. So if you want to get above average results, you cannot keep doing what everyone else is doing. So that is why we developed the conviction building strategy over the years. And in terms of actual emails, actual conviction building emails, I will show you some examples in a moment, all right? But I think a good way to learn something is by seeing what bad looks like. So let me show you some examples of what I call pillow emails. And this is the typical email that e-commerce brands are sending. And why pillow emails? And it's very simple, because these pillow emails are just as effective as a pillow in a street fight. They don't have enough punching power. They don't create enough conviction to get people over this threshold. So let me show you some examples and why they don't work. So if you go to a site like reallygoodemails.com that supposedly has the best emails that exist, and you look at the typical email. Let's take this. I don't know what this is. It's a bottle of water. It says, get ready for a new way to squeeze in your hydration goals. Circle's first ever insulated squeeze bottles are available in blue, black, and gray. I can see that. Okay, so what? Limited edition, order now. This is a good example of a pillow email. This is not building conviction. This is not building desire. This doesn't make me want to buy the thing, and it's not building enough trust. I don't trust the brand any more than I previously did as a result of reading this email. So this email is just there. It's a pillow email. It sucks. Next, this. I don't know what this is. High-end running apparel. Okay, so any high-end running apparel can say this, so this doesn't make them stand out at all. Satisfy stands out with its corrosive personality and no-nonsense approach. Founded by the obsessive runners, the brands offer products with plenty of character and attitude. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this email. In the end, what are Satisfy's intention? To redefine the running experience with innovative fabric technologies and meticulous design, and to meet every runner's need with a functional solution. It feels like I'm reading an IBM's annual report. What is this corporate talk trying to sell me? A no-nonsense brand. Here's what Satisfy's customers are saying. Okay, they'll use some reviews to try to build trust. This vest is like no other when it comes to the fabric and construction. Great product. Okay, wow, that moved me. Next, amazing shorts made from extremely lightweight and super comfortable material. The price can be a little scary at first, but once you get them in hand, you can definitely see why, and that's very justified. Okay, this is announced better. Then, yeah, nobody's reading all of this. Another example of a pillow email. It's not saying much. It's just telling. It's just spitting things, ideas, at random. Then we go past some flash sales and discounts. Okay, another one, by Ritual. Essentials you can trust. Get 20% off. At Ritual, we obsess over ingredients, nerd out about regenerative farming, and pour over the latest evidence-based research, sharing our process every step of the way. Why will a reader care about this at all? Why do they care about this? And most importantly, this is breaking one of the most important advertising principles. Show, don't tell. This is just telling you. Like every single supplement brand can say the same thing, and so this has no weight. Every single brand can say the same exact thing. You can literally grab Ritual right here, delete it, and slap any other brand that it's out there, any other supplement brand, and it's gonna be the same exact email that doesn't say much. It's just telling you things. We're always real with you because we know what it feels like to face the vitamin aisle. What is going on? So this is what happens with the copy. It goes to 10 departments and the legal department and the accountability, and it ends up sounding like this trash right here. Okay, let's continue. Maybe I'm being too harsh with them. I'm not. Okay, knowledge, power, traceable ingredients. We work with companies that care as much about their supply chains as we do. Any other brand can say the same. Transparent science. Good habits made easy. Get 20% off. Yeah, I'm not even going to waste your time reading this. This is a good example of a pillow email. If it's just claims and things that every single other brand can say, then it is not special. It's not going to create desire to get someone to buy these products. Did this move you to consider buying from Ritual? I don't know, at least not for me. It's not creating much trust, if any at all. It's just spitting things and words, but it's not coherent. If every single other brand can say the same, then they are probably also saying the same already. So this is not going to stand out. This is just a pillow email. It has no punching power. Okay, so instead, let me show you now a proper conviction building email. This email got also 10 times more sales than the industry average for one of our clients. So let me show it to you, the email first, then we'll break it down. So this is a skincare brand. They sell an anti-aging face serum. And it goes like this. The dark truth behind the 163 billion skincare industry and how you can avoid it. Over 2,100 skincare products in the US are filled with toxic chemicals like parabens, phthalates, and other additives that improve shelf life, cost, and effectiveness. That could lead to long-term health issues, hormone disruption, skin irritation, increased risk of cancer. The 4 natural ingredients that have made over 4,000 women age backward, healthier, more potent, skin-friendly. Meet the 4 hand-picked ingredients in Imbler Rejuvenate Face Serum. Hyaluronic acid, an acid naturally found in your skin, acts like a moisture magnet, drawing in water to keep your skin plump, smooth, and radiant. Studies show it can increase skin hydration by up to 96%, promoting smoothness and radiance. Moisture magnet keeps skin plump and adds smoothness. Tremella mushroom, sourced from the forest of Asia, it naturally hydrates and combats fine lines, wrinkles, and dark spots, leaving your skin youthful and radiant. It has been shown to retain up to 500 times its weight in water, helping to lock in moisture and combat signs of aging, combats fine lines, softens wrinkles, and lightens dark spots. Then Portulaceae oleracea, it's like a Harry Potter spell, right? A wild succulent that is packed with antioxidant and omega-3 fatty acids, acting as a shield to protect your skin from damage and aging, while promoting a bright, youthful complexion. Studies have shown it can reduce the effects of UV damage and improve skin elasticity by up to 40%. Improve skin elasticity, reduce UV damage, and source of antioxidants and omega-3. Finally, aloe vera. A cactus-like plant from hot climates offers naturally cooling property that soothe irritated skin while targeting fine lines, wrinkles, and dark spots for a refreshed, youthful appearance. Studies have shown it can reduce skin inflammation and redness by up to 30%, soothing and rejuvenating the skin effectively. These 4 ingredients work together to give you a serum that not only reduces the signs of aging on your skin, but also keeps you and your face healthy for the long run. Take care of your skin, use Rejuvenate. So this is now something only we can say. This is unique. And so that is why this email performs so good. So first of all, it grabs your attention. It makes it impossible for you to stop reading this email. Then on the design side, you can also see it's made for skimmers, for people who open the email and quickly go through it to see what they can expect. So this essentially is built like a really good sales page. You know, someone who might not read this, it's going to read this and at least retain that idea and get them to read this if they find that interesting. Same for all the other sections right here. So this structure is perfect, but besides that, this is creating trust and desire. So this email is building trust in plenty of ways, but let me break down just 2 of them. People trust people who call out the BS, who are not afraid to say what is wrong in the industry, what others are doing wrong and hurting customers and consumers. So what we are doing here is confirming their suspicion that There is something wrong in the skincare industry, that there are some brands who take shortcuts to save money. And so we are literally calling that out. That is the big idea behind this email. And then another method we're using here to build trust is simply explaining the mechanism, how the product works. Literally explaining that right here. What is the secret? We're literally being clear. Here is why this works so well. Because we have these 4 ingredients, they work like this, and so on. So instead of doing like the other brands that I show you that are just making claims and saying, we are literally explaining how the thing works, how a product works, and exactly how they can expect to get the results that they want. And then there are at least 2 desire building mechanisms that we're using, but the most obvious one is simply that we are appealing to the person they want to become. And there is one specific sentence that we used, and it's this one right here, age backwards. This one sentence basically sums up what this audience want. They want to age backward. They want to feel and look younger, because when they go to the mirror and see themselves, or worse, they get together with their girlfriends and they take pictures, and then they send the pictures to the entire group, and they see themselves in those pictures, and they look as if they were 10 years older than all of their friends. They wish they could age backwards. So this is one of the ways we're using to build desire here, appealing to the person they want to become. And this explains why this email did so good. And you can say it's longer than the typical e-commerce email, but again, the typical e-commerce email does just average because they don't build conviction. So instead, this is what works. And by the way, this is the same strategy that we use with all of our clients to get them to rank in the top 10%, 1% of conversion rates. So this let us have 6 times higher conversion rates. And it's a repeatable process that we roll out with every single one of the clients that we take. And it works in campaigns, but also it works in flows. Even though this email is focused on campaigns, the same principles for creating a good email campaign apply when creating a good email flow. So it's just good emails. And we have proven this approach to work over and over across our clients, across different industries as well. Okay, moving on to the next one. And this is one of my favorites. You're gonna love it. And the thing is, we've all been told this. In marketing, in advertising, people don't buy from brands, they buy from people. But then those same people tell you to send emails like this. So imagine for a second, someone trying to sell you life insurance, right? What could be possibly worse? Like, there are not many things that could be worse, but I can picture one. A mime trying to sell you life insurance. Like, what could be possibly worse? Like a stupid, soulless mime trying to sell you something which you know you're not going to buy. Of course, no one will pay attention to him and no one will buy. But instead, if you have a warm, like an actual human person with personality, and they're warm and they have stories to tell you and they have their quirks and they are relatable, and they will have a higher odds at selling. I will bet all my money into this life insurance agent any single day of the week. So what is going on? So why this disconnect? Because on one hand, we know that people buy from people, and that if you sell something, a product, a service, you will do 10 times better by having a human selling that product or service. So we all know that, but still the average brand sends that same type of email over and over and over that screams, hey, we are a brand. That completely misses that opportunity for a deeper connection. So that is why we use this secret strategy called personality emails. And these are key when turning a liquid list into a liquid list that is ready to buy and ready to spend money with you. Let me show you why. This is a personality-based email that got tons of sales when we send it. And I will first go through it and then I explain why. And as you can see, this is completely text-based. It's not beautifully designed, but I will get to that in a moment. And for context, this is for a brand that sells aftermarket car parts, like new exhaust, new wheels, things that you add to your car to improve its performance and so on. So it goes like this. Subject line, Porsche's latest move with the 911 ST. Let's talk about the much anticipated 2024 Porsche 911 ST for a moment. Only 1963 of these beauties will be made. That scarcity, it's pure gold for resellers. But Porsche taking a stand. Here's the twist. Instead of letting buyers quickly flip their purchase for a profit, Porsche decided you can't legally own the 911 ST for a year after getting your hands on it. Instead, they lease it to you. Why, you ask? It's all about deterring flippers. Porsche wants these cars to land in the hands of true enthusiasts. People who value that 9,000 RPM flat 6 and close ratio 6-speed manual transmission, not just the potential dollar signs. Here's the thing though. While this approach makes sense, I can't help but think of dealers who mark up prices like there's no tomorrow. Yes, dealers are often the primary scalpers, and they are pocketing big bucks from us enthusiasts. If Porsche is cracking down on these individual resellers, shouldn't the dealers get the same treatment? But hey, maybe I'm being optimistic. Maybe, just maybe, after a year the hype around the 911 ST will die down a tad and genuine enthusiasts can enjoy their cars without feeling the weight of a massive price tag. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of enjoying our rides, remember, no matter the make or model, it's the personal touches that make your car unique. Looking for quality parts without the dealership markup? Head over to Brand. We've got everything you need to make your ride truly yours. Until next time, John, founder, Brand. So this is an amazing example of a personality-based email. So this is building trust and desire, and it's doing it so in a very elegant way, which I love. So personality emails like this and also text-based emails as a whole have one beautiful benefit, and is that they are not perceived as designed emails do. They're not perceived by the brain as, okay, this brand is selling me something, I have to activate my guards up, I have to put my guards up. Instead, these things, like you can see, they are literally like a conversation that we both are having. So someone is reading this and in their minds they're not being persuaded, they're not being sold, they just read the whole thing, and yes, they are being persuaded, but they don't know it, and that is the beautiful part of this. So by using these types of emails, we can go straight to that emotional part of the brain, the one that's responsible for making decisions, get straight to that part of the brain and inject trust and desire right there. So in this case, one of the ways that we use to build trust is we're simply throwing rocks at our enemies. People here in this audience, they hate the dealers and how much they mark up the cars, and this audience will rather build their own cars. So we're basically saying, fuck these guys, they suck, and by doing so, readers, they perceive us as, okay, he's one of us. So when it comes the time to make a buying decision, and they have to think, okay, I'm buying new wheels. There are 10 different brands that sell the same exact wheel. Who should I buy from? They're going to buy from the brand that created the most trust, this brand. So this is a beautiful strategy that we use with our clients, and we try to roll these personality emails with every single one of the clients that we work with. So we find someone inside the brand, the person who it makes most sense to send the emails from. Sometimes it's the founder, sometimes it's not, and we might even have to create like a pen name or a new person inside the company, but we find ways to make this work because it works so well. So this is personality emails, but there's also text-based emails as a whole. So if you want to see examples of this, I'm going to link to a playlist that contains videos showing other text-based emails and ways to do them perfectly. So next, and on the same subject of trust. Trust is critical to get the sale. And the thing is that trust is like a credit score. So if you don't build it, for example, you sell the typical boring generic emails, and if you don't take care of it, your score will plummet. But on the other hand, the faster you increase your credit score, your trust score, the faster you get the sale, the faster you can ask for more money. So this strategy is called trust acceleration. And it simply says we have to build this trust score as fast as humanly possible if we want to get the money as soon as possible. Because if you don't, have you seen these videos? Let me show them to you. These are super funny.
Yes, sir! Mr. Lane came out and got the Ford Raptor. What'd you do to get this truck? All right, how much you put down?
Zero down.
How much was your monthly payment? $1,000. How long are you financing for? For life. That's what I'm talking about, for the Ford Raptor.
For life.
How much did you guys put down? Zero. How much are you guys paying per month? $580. How long are you guys financing for?
For 287 months.
All right. Congratulations for the Mercedes C300.
Thank you.
Wait. He says congratulations. He says those are the words coming out of his mouth. Okay, so this is a real business apparently.
Yes,
okay, one more.
Mr. David just sold his soul for this BMW 530. Mr. David, how much did you put down?
Just sold his soul.
$1,000 down. Mr. Joseph hooked me up.
How much is it a month?
$590.
All right. How many months?
325.
Yes, sir. Mr. David just sold his soul for this BMW 530.
Anyway, the proper way to build this trust credit is with trust acceleration. And this simply means going against what every single other brand is doing. They get a new subscriber and then they send one email on day one. Then 24 hours later, they send another email. And then they wait another 24 hours to send email 3. Sometimes even wait 2 days, 3 days between emails. When the moment someone subscribes to your list is when they are the hottest, they are warm, they are ready to buy if you create enough trust. So someone who just subscribed to your list, first they had to make it to your website, and then they most likely came through an ad or an influencer, whatever it is. The moment Facebook, Instagram knows you're in the market for something, they are going to show you 5 different brands that all sell the same exact product. So at that moment, it becomes a fight. Who's the brand that can create the most trust and who can create it the fastest? Because the brand who does that gets the sale. And so this is something that we enforce with every single one of our clients. This is trust acceleration. And to give you an example, this will mean, okay, they signed up, and rather than waiting 24 hours to send the second email, we will wait 30 minutes, not 30 hours, 30 minutes to send the second email. No, this second email isn't just any email. It's not just more of the same. It cannot feel the same way as this first email. For example, it could be a personality email, right? This will be for the welcome sequence, but the same goes for a cart abandonment sequence. They abandoned the cart. They were ready to buy, but they didn't. So why wait 24 hours to send another email when they are hot at this moment? There are hot single moms waiting for you, but you are waiting 24 hours. Why? I will blame Klaviyo, right? Because when you create a flow in Klaviyo and where you rely on their default templates, they do this for you. The first email is sent immediately, then the next one 24 hours after that, and the next one 24 hours. So I will blame Klaviyo for making us think that this is the normal, this is the standard. And this also ties back to my initial idea. If you do what every single other brand there is doing, what the average brand is doing, how can you logically expect to have better results than them? It is simply not possible. So this is trust acceleration. And another tip, the first emails that someone receives from you are the most important ones they will ever receive. So this is literally the saying, first impressions matters. But the first emails they get from you set the tone for everything else that's to come. So if these emails are sloppy and ugly, that is the perception they will have from you from now on. It's going to be very hard to get rid of that inside their minds. So place special attention to these first emails that you send. They have to be the best possible emails. And the way you do that is not by just simply creating one welcome email, but this requires testing and iteration. And this is something we do with clients as we manage their Klaviyo accounts and their campaigns. We see that some emails, some angles resonate more than others. So if we see that, then we start thinking, okay, how can we turn this campaign into a welcome email? and tweak it and then test it according to current welcome email number 1, for example, right? So that is another side tip for you. And so when you start doing this, people pay more attention to you. They are warmer, hotter, more likely to engage and read and process and digest your email campaigns. So a liquid list or an liquid subscriber, because the lists are made of subscribers, right? So let's take an liquid subscriber, someone who's not opening or buying from the emails that a brand sends him. So an liquid subscriber, more often than not, is a liquid because he went into the website, signed up, and he received 0 emails at all, and then maybe at random 2 weeks later he got a flash discount, and then 3 weeks later a product launch announcement. But by then it's just too late, because by 2 weeks, 3 weeks, most likely this person already found the solution elsewhere, already purchased from another brand. And so he simply doesn't care at all about the emails that this brand is sending. So you take a bunch of liquid subscribers and they create an liquid list. So to prevent that, implement trust acceleration and have really good emails, specifically your first, second, and third emails. But also consider the whole week that someone gets to know you for the first time. It's critical. And then along the same lines is the idea of frequency. So I briefly touched on this idea already, but the thing is that if you're not being frequent with your emails, they're going to forget about you. So it doesn't matter if you were the hottest brand. If they forgot about you, it's too late already. So like remember in high school, like this cool guy who randomly left for 2 years. There's always this guy. He used to be like the cool guy and all, but then he left for 2 years for whatever reason. And then he returned, but nobody cared anymore. He was no longer the cool guy, right? The same happens with email. If you're being inconsistent, your audience will still move on. There's probably going to be another brand that is going to be sending them more emails and more marketing and keeping them more engaged, and they'll move on with that brand. They'll forget about you completely. So I know these things, but this is the reality of marketing. It's just a battle to stay top of mind and gain that trust in people's brains. And that isn't something you can do every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now, the more frequent you are, the better. For example, I have my very own email list, and the smartest CMOs, CEOs are in there. And I send a daily email. I never miss for over 2 years now, a daily email. So guess how much trust I have with my audience? It's a lot, because I'm there every single day. So the opposite of this, brands that are infrequent with their email, of course their lists are going to be a liquid, because they simply do not care. They stopped caring long ago and they move on to the next brand. But the good news is that if you start sending conviction building emails, you can get away with as many of them as possible, because they are not perceived as sales pitches. They are also not promotions. So subscribers actually look forward to receiving these types of emails. I already showed you a personality email, and someone in this audience is going to look forward to this type of emails every single day of the week. So to turn an liquid list into a liquid list, simply increase your frequency. And then you will see how every single email that you send generates more and more and more money over time, provided you're following also the other strategies that I've laid down. Next, and this one is super straightforward, so I'm not spending much time on this, but is find your ideal sending time. And I've heard a lot of discussion about what is the optimal sending time, and honestly, Klaviyo has its own tool to find the optimal sending time. Let me show it to you. So the final results look like this. They tell you literally the optimal sending time for this account will be 6 a.m. right, and it's based on 170 tests that we've sent. Okay, it's part of the story, because you can see, yes, there's a peak here in open rates, and that sounds good, right? It's logical. We should send our emails when opens are higher, right? But here's the thing. Will you propose to your partner when they're half asleep? You wouldn't, or at least don't be shocked if you get a no, right? So if you want to get a yes, timing matters. So what Klaviyo does here is, okay, they tell us when people are opening emails, but that's half the picture. What we care about is when people are actually buying products. If they are naturally buying products at a certain time, that's when we should send our emails, because it's a completely different behavior. People might be buying deep at night, but they might be skimming through their emails early in the morning. And so that might be the reason why we have this bump in open rates early in the morning, but it's just insignificant compared to the extra sales that are generated during the night. Before taking this data at face value, you will go here, scroll down a little bit, and you see this, which also shows the placed order rate by hour. And if you move your mouse besides the open rate, you can see the placed order rate. And so we can find the time slot with the highest placed order rate. In this case, it's 0.03%, 4, and then at 6 a.m. it's 0.1%. So in this case, for this brand, yes, the optimal sending time, it's also the optimal buying time when people are actually buying. But it's not always the case, because we can see, okay, 9 a.m. there's a drop in placed order rate or conversions. At 12 p.m. the conversion rate is half that of that 6 a.m. But then at 3 p.m. the conversion rate is actually higher than that of 6 a.m. So 3 p.m. might actually be a better time to send our emails, even though the open rate is slightly marginally lower, right? But for some other brands we work with, the difference is even bigger. We might see that the highest open rates are here in the morning, but the highest conversion rates are here at night. So if you have the symptoms of an liquid list, it might be because, okay, your open rates are good and you're sending the emails at the best time, but your conversion rates are low because at that time people are not buying. They're not in a buying mood, or simply they don't have enough time to buy. They just have time to scroll through some of their emails. So this is another critical thing if we want to maximize the sales that we get from email marketing. And then finally, we have a trick to literally multiply the effects of a campaign as if it was magic. Now, over the 5 years that I've been doing email marketing and running email engineers, I've audited hundreds of brands. And one of the most common campaign approaches that I see, it's what I call the A.D.H.D approach to campaigns. And that is simply sending one email about product A on Monday, and then on Wednesday talking about an upcoming product, and then on Friday talking about myths about product C, and then on Sunday it's the best of the week. And the problem with this approach, and this is something that you most likely anticipated by now, is that if we do this, on Monday we sell product A, on Wednesday it's a brand focused email, on Friday we sell product C, and Sunday is best of. It is simply impossible for us to build the conviction needed to sell product A or to sell product C, because for each product we have to cross this conviction threshold. So if one Monday we build trust for product A, but then on Friday we switch to product C and we start building this all over and over again, and we never double down on just one product, we will never cross this threshold. We will never get someone to buy this product. So that is the problem with this A.D.H.D approach to campaigns, is that it simply does not work. Customers, subscribers are exposed to hundreds and hundreds of ads per week. And so all of these emails get diluted. They don't make it deep into the brain at all. And so it is neurologically impossible to get sales with an approach like this. And so the way to multiply campaign sales is to double down on ideas through the week, doubling down on just one product per week. On Monday, you sell product A. On Wednesday, you don't have ADHD, so you also sell product A. On Friday, you took your ADHD medication, so you sell product A. Sunday, chill day. Maybe we should rest. Maybe we should take the day off. Maybe we should go to the pool. No, you sell product A. This is going to build trust and desire, and finally get someone over the conviction threshold and get someone to buy. This is what works. This is the approach that works and that we use with our clients. When I show you this, when I show you that our emails are converting 6 times, 10 times higher than those of our competitors, it is because we do all of this together. We double down so we don't dilute the ideas. We send at the ideal sending time when people are buying. We are frequent. We send 4 to 7 emails a week. The moment someone joins our list, whether to a pop-up or because they abandon checkout, we build trust as fast as possible. We implement personality emails and text-based emails because they make it directly to the emotional part of the brain, the one responsible for decision making. We get rid of every single pillow emails that are already in flows or that they are sending, and instead we send conviction building emails only, which basically force email revenue up. There's no other way. Trust and desire leads to a sale. It is a mathematical formula. And finally, because we do all of that, we kill discount dependency. And we stop relying on discounts and flash offers to get sales. This is exactly how we're able to do this for our clients. This is literally the process that we follow. So what I would recommend is that you watch this video again once or twice so you can digest all of this and then slowly start implementing one idea 1 week and then a second idea the next week or even month by month if you don't have the time. But I want you to see the effects for yourself. So try all of this. There's going to be a link in the description so you can see other text-based emails examples and personality emails examples as well. And finally, if you're watching this in 2025, we are running the Conviction Games at theconvictiongames.com. And this is where for every month, from January to December, we are partnering with one e-com brand in the high 7 to 9 figure range and applying the conviction building strategy along with all the other strategies you saw in this video to scale their email sales without relying on discounts and desperate flash offers. So now we're in March 13, so we already have some results for some of these brands. This is for the brand that joined in February, and in the last 30 days since they joined, we scaled their email sales by 2,621%, which is not. Now, admittedly, they were doing barely any email marketing before us. But nevertheless, we managed to scale their email sales to 32% of total email sales in under 30 days. So that's a win in my books. And we did every single one of these strategies. We did trust acceleration, conviction building, personality emails, all of this. And this is in February, considering we only started working with them from the second week from February. We already managed to get their campaigns to convert 10 times higher than the average brand that their competitors. So if we see, we are literally ranking in the top 6% of accounts in conversion rates. And the reason I tell you this is because every single strategy that you saw in this video works, and it's based on what is actually working now with email marketing. So if you would like to be the next brand that joins the Conviction Games, you can go to convictiongames.com and there's going to be a link for you to sign up and be the first to know whenever a new intake opens up. I'm Matt Pirelli. See you in the next video.